This is Dave from the NOTSO Chinese Secret Show, and I don't like to do negative shows very often, but I was, kind of surfing the web, looking for updates for my Sony A7 III because I love this thing and I hate this thing. And I came across a firmware update, and you guys should all get it because there's a problem. There's a big problem. It's not a little problem. It's a big problem. And this is the biggest problem of all, okay? This is a big, big, big deal. So version update 2.10. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, let's go talk about what I actually did a review of the A7 III, but it was very video-centric. And I explained in that video, but you know what? You're a photographer for the last 15 years, professional photographer. Yeah, scary, hard to believe, right? But I mean, why wasn't I doing a stills review? And I'll let myself say that because I actually said it pretty good. Okay. Now, I mentioned in the very beginning that this would be a video-centric review of the A7 III. And you might think, Dave, but you're a photographer too. What about the stills? Well, I'm a little bit shy to use this on stills because the first time that I did bring this to a paying gig, it failed me. I have no idea what happened, but I was shooting in RAW format. There was a catastrophic failure where I could not fix it without formatting the card. Now, to be fair, I've never encountered this issue when recording video on this guy, and it's been very reliable. But as a working professional, this was not a good scenario to find myself in at a paying gig. And so the camera was locked up, nothing I could do, even taking the battery out, putting it back in, that same SD card, it just would not play nice at all. Maybe it's just an isolated incident and I'm just a lucky one, but that kind of scared me off from taking this as my only still shooter. So that's scary, right? Like you take this out, and I should note that the SD card in question was 128 gigabyte, 95 megabytes per second SanDisk, original SanDisk. I used it for years prior successfully without one glitch on my Nikon D750s. I used it in video mode with this Sony A7 III without a glitch until I shot RAW files on a card that was only written by the same camera. It was written onto video on the same camera. And then when I shot RAW stills, it just froze. Like you couldn't do nothing. Like you'd have to pull out the battery, put it back in. But then when you took another picture, it just freeze, nothing. And of course it wouldn't take that shot either. It just wouldn't work. Now, here is the firmware update issue, okay? So this is what they actually did, okay? And look at this. Can you read that? Improves the following. In rare cases, the camera may stop functioning while writing raw data onto the SD card that has already been used multiple times. Seriously? You're kidding me, right? It's like, that can't be real, right? Like they just decided that, oh, why? By the way, there's a bug. If you shoot RAW, it just won't record the RAW and your camera will lock up maybe. Sony, just no. Like, how can you think that professionals can rely on this camera when it locks up on you, you can't shoot RAW files? Okay, anyways. And so I am actually making a whole comprehensive setup video for the Sony A7 III. It's going to be video-centric because the stills cannot be relied on. And, I hate to, rain on anybody's parade, but they don't pay me to say this. They don't pay me to say nice things. They don't pay me to say bad things. And so, Sony, if you really want to get in the game for, pro users, you can't screw up like this. And I know everybody makes mistakes, but it's kind of like making a car and forgetting the engine, right? Or, oh, by the way, it might blow up on you when you press the gas. Come on. Oh, so sad. Makes my heart sad. So anybody who owns an A7 Mark III, do get the updated firmware right now. But it is a catastrophic failure. And I will rant a little bit about multiple SD cards and why that won't help, because the whole camera just failed. It just locked up, and that last image was not written to anywhere, okay? So having two camera slots or two SD card slots is not a backup. Having 3 SD card slots is not a backup. Having a separate camera, a different camera, is a backup. All right, I think we have to get past the fact that you think that having 2 SD cards on one camera is a backup, because it's not. If there's a catastrophic failure like I experienced, nothing will help, okay? You need another camera there if you're a paid professional. All right, that's it for today. I'm sorry to be negative, but yeah, it made me really upset to know that, yeah, there was a bug that was that critical that for professionals who are shooting raw files that maybe had written to the same card with a video before, that it would lock up like this and catastrophically. Anyways, so before that, let's leave on a more positive note. Let's talk about the thought of the day. The thought of the day is this: hard things take time to do. Impossible things take a little longer. Happy Thursday, and here's to the impossible. Cheers, guys. Stay warm out there.